Greetings and salutations and welcome once again to the Capeless Crusaders live at the time from Empire's Comics Vault. I'm taking off these headphones because the echo makes me talk at a funny pace.
Echo.
Exactly. Echo. I'm losing my mind. Sounds weird, doesn't it?
Ooh, it's like a concert.
Concert. Anyway, my name is David Barry at DR Barry on varying social media platforms. We are your number one, supposedly, podcast for anything allegedly comic book related. I am joined by a whole crew of you.
You forgot to change the title.
It's like you guys are over here.
I already updated it. And you know when you whisper, everyone can hear you, right?
No, I don't know.
DR Barry on. Yeah. There you go.
There you are.
It's
Hey.
Christmas full of surprises.
Who are you?
It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the last episode of the year for the Capeless Crusaders. I am the Azorian one, Anthony Esteves.
Hey.
I'm going to now roll back, check for my receivers, see who's open, and I'm going to toss it over to...
Oh, me? Yay, look, I caught it. Kind
my
of.
nose.
My nose.
Why are you over
here? This is Amy. You can find me at iJaneEurobot on varying social media platforms. Also, you probably won't see all of my face tonight because I do this behind that pop filter. Hey. But tonight, all the dames are in the his house, so I am gently passing the football, hence no broken nose, to my sister.
Hey there, this is Stephanie, and I am Dame of the Galaxy on Instagram, but you can find me also on the Dame Patrol podcast, and now on the Capeless Crusader website with articles.
Yes.
So yeah, check out my Bumblebee article, and then I'm going to gently lob the football to my...
What up, nerds? Hey.
Just grabs the ball. Nerds.
What up,
Nerds.
nerds? I'm going 20 yards this.
No. Hey, guys. I am Erminia, but you guys can call me Minnie. I am Earth 76 Stevs.
Nope, I am now calling you Armenia.
It's okay. It's I'm not a country. But I am part of the Dames.
Armenia.
Yes, there you go. Part of the Dame Patrol. You guys can find me at Dame Egg Sauce. That's Dame EG Sauce on that there Instaswam.
Boop, boop.
Wunderbar. For anything related to the Capeless Crusaders, you can head over to thecapelesscrusaders.com, your hub for all things Crusaders. From there, you can find all of our social media, our Twitch, our YouTube, support our Patreon, read a blog or two, especially from the Dames, or three. You will also find everything on the Capeless Crusader Network. Hey, we're a network now. That explains why we have so many shows.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking. No, that's later on in the show.
My bad.
Right now, we need pictures of Spider-Man.
Get pictures of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Anyway, including,
F
but
those
not
bubbles.
limited to, Crossover, Manderson's crossover sports comic show with his brother, Danderson. Soon to have Sanderson?
I thought it was a Sanderson.
And Standerson?
And Banderston and Flanderson and Granderson.
Yeah, Toby
Ooh.
Flanderson.
Toby
sounds
Flanderson.
bad.
Yeah, it'll be great. The Dame Patrol, of
Hey.
course. Sunday Coffee. And soon to be more. Look in the new year for the website to be overhauled, look all pretty, looking better. And from there, you can also find our lovely sponsors.
What?
Hey,
Sponsors?
let me
have
see where they're
sponsors.
positioned today. 'cause
One's over my head.
one is over your head. One of the most important. I would say hands down, because otherwise we wouldn't be
Having our hands up at all.
we wouldn't be here right now. That is Empire's Comics Vault, our home away from home, home of comics, hot sauce, pugs, and they're located where, Amy?
At 1120 Fulton Avenue,
Sweet K.
Sacramento, California. Stop in. We have, this is the last week for the Sacramento Children's Receiving Home toy drive. If you buy them in store, there we have select amount of toys that are 50% off if you donate them in. If else, any other toys in the shop that you buy is 25% off being donated.
How much?
25%. But I'm also, there's something I'm really, yes, you guys, that he's not for the receiving home, but there's also something else. It's really, really important that I need to talk about for the shop.
What is
Really
it?
important.
What's that?
This Friday, wait, is this Friday the 21st?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It
Yes,
is.
because
Just making
Aquaman
sure.
comes out.
Yes, okay, well,
Yes.
there is a free movie on the 21st that is the quintessential, so I'm told, Christmas movie.
Wait, so I'm told. Does that mean you haven't seen it?
Nope. What is it, boys?
A Christmas Story?
No, I said no.
No.
Is it the one in L.A. in the tower?
Do you have a machine gun?
Die Hard.
You haven't seen Die Hard
Nope.
yet.
Nope, I haven't.
Ho, ho.
Oh.
I thought it would be great. But there's a free screening of Die Hard
Oh,
on.
Oh, Mr. Cowboy.
See,
Didn't Bruce Willis say that it's not a Christmas movie?
Yeah, he
But it's
said it's a
happening
Bruce Willis
Christmas.
movie.
Oh, yeah.
well,
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Bruce Willis Christmas. His opinion doesn't matter.
exactly.
So the
Death of the
21st, 7 o'clock.
Here?
we will put it on the big giant screen,
Over that way.
and we will have popcorn, snacks. It will be fantastic.
You could also come in and get some last minute Christmas gifts.
Yes,
For anyone
definitely.
on your list. There's everything. There's toys, statues. I have a huge box back there if you just want to throw $20 at.
Yeah.
Just tell Ben, hey, this is for David's box.
Yeah, it is.
There's also, if you guys are in, you don't know exactly what you're going to grab for somebody,
Yeah.
there's the graphic novel grab bags. It's get a rolly tote. It's like a $60 to $90 value for $40, and you get like 3 and or 4 trades, some of which are hardbacks.
Monster trades. There is, if we were saying we wanted to get our Superman fan on the podcast, a collection, a cornucopia, perhaps, of Superman trades,
in the past, haven't we?
we could. You could do such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Option.
Manderson, that's something.
Him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like,
You had to-
Jamie.
Oh,
He's
no.
alumni.
Yeah, he alumnus.
All right.
That's all available here at Empire's Comics Vault, as well as Die Hard Friday night.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. You know what else you can do?
Get together.
What else can we do?
We can also say it's like last minute. you
Okay.
know, it's the
Okay.
holidays.
It's kinda- Okay.
You have a
Putting
friend
myself
who
in this
maybe
frame.
has
Facial hair?
a beard made of yarn. Or a physical beard that they trim too much for
Or I
holiday
can
pictures.
do one of these and make one myself.
You can do that. You can use a beard balm brush.
Wow.
Beard balm brush. Here's what they use.
Located
They take
over the
they
Stiff's
take
head.
beeswax. Okay.
Okay.
They take beard oil, beard balm, form
Together,
spiky
they
little Koopa
become
shell.
They form the head.
A spiky Koopa shell.
Yes, and you will throw that at the first place runner that is your face.
If you're playing on that sweet switch.
You okay?
Does it work for goatees?
That was yeah. It works for any kind of
It
hair.
works for any kind of hair
Any
and or
kind of hair.
awesome yarn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Softs them. That's
It softs them.
It softs them.
It makes soft.
It makes soft.
You've heard it here from Estevs. It makes it a soft.
It makes it soft.
If you go to Beard Balm Brush, use the code CAPE. Let's get 15% off your purchase.
15.
Great stocking stuffer. Wow. For the holidays. Yeah, exactly. Or if you have a nerd in your life,
And we know a few,
yeah,
including all of us here.
yeah.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, you could go to Critical Dice. Use code CAPE. Let's get 15% off some dice, some books, some hooks, some gear, a dice rolling tray.
It's all in there.
You could put your dice on the tray. You could serve a nice little dish on the tray if you'd like.
I
In the
wouldn't.
shape of
Probably
dice.
shouldn't.
Those
Probably
trays are
not a good
really
idea.
nice.
Little cheeses in the shape of dice.
No, that would leave
That
behind
would-
residue.
Don't do that.
Cheese dice, yes.
Unless we make cheese dice.
Yes.
There we go.
And now
Nailed
Got
it.
it, Critical Dice.
Melt it. Yeah.
We got
Call
there.
us.
We
Wait, don't
nailed
call
it.
us because we already know who you are. Email us.
But perfect stocking stuffer dice.
Huh?
It
Also.
is. Do you know what else is a perfect stocking stuffer? And
Die
I
Hard.
just noticed Die Hard. But also in chat we have Kyron and Indie Comics.
Ooh.
Are a great opportunity for you to support our local creators. We have
There's
a
a whole wall.
giant wall, a cornucopia
Yep.
of them,
Over
if
there.
you will. Shaman's Destiny. We might just say is something you should be picking up and reading.
Saw the lightning wheeler.
Also, Kyron, congratulations to your son. Black belt Taekwondo.
Yes,
well
first
done.
one.
Yo.
League of Shadows.
Very nice. So,
this is gonna get
hey,
scary.
chat, we see you.
We see you. So, on this week's episode, we are, of course, going to go around the horn. We're
Oh,
talking
shoot.
about comic books we've been reading this week. We are going to talk about the news. The news. There's a lot of it. Some of it not great. Some of it amazing.
Whoa.
And our main topic, the best and
And
worst,
worst.
of 2018. This is our last Capeless Crusaders show of the year. We will have one more crossover, and we're going to have another Dame Patrol?
Yes.
Yes.
It
Yes.
should be dropping on the 26th, and we're going to cover all of the big nerd movies as a roundtable. So when you're stuck at home with your cousins and your aunts and uncles, and you guys are heading out to the movie theaters, you can just be like, oh, I know exactly which one of these movies is worth my time.
But what are we covering then?
Oh, wait.
Tag yourself. What are you covering?
Yeah.
Me. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Hey.
I
Fans will
am
face.
going to be covering Bumblebee 2018. And
And I drew what I thought was the short end of the stick, the short end of the fish stick. I am covering Aquaman,
Fish stick. That was good.
but
Wait for
I kind of love him now.
Yeah.
Nice.
He
Read my
grows
article.
on you like a barnacle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
he
not
grows
as
on you
accurate.
like
It's
a lovely little
it's one of
barnacle.
those-
Like as
That
if we're all
screams when you pull it off.
Yeah, like we're all
screams when you
we're
pull
all
it up.
floating in the mothball fleet,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
things are attaching to us. And
Well, okay, that went a little too far. But the dames have written articles to get you prepped for these beautiful, glorious things. And perhaps I might even write one in tandem, so you get a full
Would
fleet.
be great because he does it right.
I know.
I forgot how to.
It's just like riding a bike, but with words.
Look at us getting all grammatical.
All
Right.
grammatical.
Like many, I have been inspired by these women here. There will be a Sunday coffee with the Azorian one before Christmas.
What? We are literally going to have the entire network giving you content until the end of the year. Look at us. We care.
Because we
Holiday
love you.
movies.
Happy holidays.
Happy
holidays.
Is it going to be as
was really
controversial as your music?
I try to be.
Music choices?
I try to be.
Will the Mary bells keep ringing,
Brenda
and will
Lee,
my
bro.
every wish
DX,
come
man.
true?
DX.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
And
So,
Officer McLean will be in that too.
when it's almost Christmas, if you celebrate that. If you don't, that's totally cool. But it's also almost New Year's.
The winter
It's
solstice.
also almost Kwanzaa.
It's almost
Also,
Kwanzaa. Hanukkah.
related, happy Hanukkah.
The winter solstice.
Everything. Yeah.
Solstice
Everything.
is great.
All these
Weird.
things
Solstice
are
is the
happening.
end of the week.
Jesus was born supposedly
March.
depending on who you are. I'm not trying to ruffle
We're gonna
feathers.
cut down some trees and light their put their candles on their corpses. I almost said light their corpses again.
Candles and corpses.
Wait, do you light your tree on fire, Amy? Is that a tradition?
It's
Because I want to
it's a Nordic tradition.
That's
It's
in
a
my
happy Merry Holly Jolly.
yeah. That's in my Christmas rotation now. The Josh Gad. It's from the Olaf Frozen.
It's the one that
But
I
the
quoted.
song, the song where he sing, where he's just like, so you
Just
take,
that song, remember?
you hang your giant socks above the fire. That sounds safe. I love Josh Gad. That's really what it is. That being said,
That's why they need to listen to our episodes so they can hear our
yeah.
airing of the grievances on that remark.
when
Oh,
all
yeah.
those things happen, when we are surrounded by comics,
And
we
there's
like to
Skyler.
go, and I hope it doesn't blow your eardrums. Round the horn.
I done told you one too many times about that moonshine.
He's so happy. I love that you're just staring at
He's
him.
staring at me.
He actually is. It's really intense.
That probably just
He knows. Hey guys, he knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
No, look.
He's oddly oily. Is that just like? Is that
That's
just like
a post-apocalyptic.
That's
That's
a Norman
the thing,
Reedus
yeah.
thing. That's a Norman Reedus
Everyone
thing.
just covers
He's
themselves in
old.
Vaseline to slip out of the zombie's hands.
Yep.
When we go around the horn, we go around the table in a circular fashion, except for the fact that we no longer have a circular table. This is the closest we're going to get, which is two tables across from each other, forming more of a square.
Square.
Talk about what comic books we have been reading this week in particular. Now, Stevs, I'm going to have you start because I know you're very proud of your reading this week, and we're proud of you too, buddy. You got a gold star on the fridge and everything.
Oh goodness.
Oh my gosh,
You're,
Braith.
you're
We
like
live
2
together.
gold stars away from a scented
It's gonna
candle.
be so
We've got one on the
good.
table.
Been working on your Spanish too. Feliz Nasty Dad.
It's my nickname. What?
What have you been reading?
Is it when I talked to you about today, right? Yeah, you mean that? Is that okay? Yeah.
If you want to, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I finally, after
Finally.
350 something days,
It is happening to him.
Read a comic on this comic-based podcast
Yes.
he's
We're
on.
so proud
Hi, I'm
of
a
you.
Steve.
I
Comics.
that's what the show's about. It took 4.5 years. I read Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America: Winter in America.
I thought you were about to say Winter Soldier. I'm like, that's not the thing. But then I realized you were saying Winter in America. I'm like, that's the thing.
I read a newspaper while watching The Winter Soldier. No, I
Accurate.
read Captain America: Winter in America, and holy,
Snot.
yep, that's it. Holy blank. Yep. Fantastic. Was a fan of Coates' writing for Black Panther, which is fantastic. That was actually my first Black Panther issues was his run. Then I went back and read the older stuff. So now reading Cap. You said it perfectly in text. It's a mix of new and classic together. It's topical with today's stuff, and
Yep.
I'll go more into it at a different time. Oh.
It's as if what you read today is the best.
I don't know what you're talking
You've
about.
read all
We're
year.
gonna take the spotlight off me for
You're
once.
just lucky that it's a good one. Amelia,
Chose
Hey,
wisely.
what did you read this week?
Nothing.
Look, she took my line.
You know what? Gold.
See?
You get her gold star too.
Yes, Spanish
So,
it passed.
so I could.
You're
I
a little
could make,
busy.
I could make one of those great remarks of things that I've read that I would love to share that are idealistically things that I loved about 2018, but I'm going to hang on to that.
Solid. Fair enough.
So, hey, Steph.
Hey.
Hey, Steph.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
I must have caught you at a bad
Oh
time.
yeah, I didn't see you there.
Oh.
I was just looking at Bumblebee, Win It If You Dare, and you can see my opinion on this book on the Capeless Crusaders website in my article.
I like the way she promotes.
Yeah.
It reminds me of me. I like that.
But she's sprightly and tiny.
Like that. So
Yeah,
that was
slightly
basically really
tiny.
like a roundabout way of you being like, I like myself.
myself.
I'm talented.
I'm good.
I like me. I don't need anybody else. Hey.
But yeah. But anyway, so things I read this week. I read the Adventure Zone, Here There Be Goblins by the McElroy brothers, which is an adaptation of their first arc in their podcast, The Adventure Zone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does
So
it feature a theme song by Kenny Loggins?
No.
We're not flying into.
Zone.
We're not flying into.
Shut up,
the
Steve's.
No.
No.
No, it's the
And you tried.
But yeah, it adapts like their first story arc. So it's these three brothers and their dad playing D&D together, and it's just off
so
the
much fun. I've
walls
heard it.
and great, and it becomes this really deep, meaningful story. But this is the first arc, so it's still all the funny, silly stuff. So read that, enjoyed that, and then I also read the new Martian Manhunter
The number one.
issue 1 of the Maxi series, and it's really weird, but I kind of dig it. I like the artwork,
Fun, but it's
and
weird.
also everything is like super alien on Mars. They're not like pulled in back. Everything's like, I don't even understand what's happening
Right.
here, but I kind of dig it. I don't know how I feel about how it's gonna go, but
It's not
I'm
like
down.
the U.S. on Mars. It's like
yeah,
no,
it's
stuff is
not
actually
like,
different.
oh, I can totally with context clues figure out like
This
what
is New
this
York.
means. It's
No.
like no, I'm lost.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Weird, but good.
Yeah. All right, and then I'm gonna pass it over to you. What have you been reading?
I actually, after seeing Spider-Verse, because it's
So good.
so good, but I will hold my feelings back on that for later.
Everyone
It hit me in the
feelings.
hashtag Felios.
Felios.
But I read the new Miles Morales Spider-Man that actually
Solid
just
and
came
Ahmed?
out. Yeah, by Solid and Ahmed.
We don't
I
have any
gave it
more.
a
We don't have any more in the shop. Like
Yeah.
we have them on back order.
I gave it a solid read just because I was Miles, and I'm very excited. It's a good jumping on point for Miles because Miles has been in a lot of stuff because he's amazing, but it's a good solid jumping on for him. But Solid and Ahmed is actually going to be taking over Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead to the news.
Yeah.
She's leading in. You should
leading
have gone
in.
first,
she
bro.
knows
You know
the
what?
future.
We dames are the future, man.
Yeah, we're already there.
We're already there.
We're segueing past
I
everything.
was about to
that
say
you're
it's like
doing.
the recording of SpongeBob being like, "I'm already halfway there, halfway there, halfway there," and he's already halfway there.
But that Miles, it's fantastic. Solid Ahmed has a very good voice for Miles. My only issue is that there's like a certain page in there and you're reading and it's good and it's a good flow, and then you hit a couple of lines and you're like, wow, this is an adult man trying to be a teenager. Okay.
Keep
Moving
trucking.
on. But beyond that, it sounds amazing, and it's got the Rhino in it.
Nice.
Paul
Yeah,
Giamatti?
the Rhino. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah, no, not that terribly
Not that-
photoshopped Paul Giamatti.
Oh,
That was horrible.
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
Spider-Man.
Hey,
No.
Zach, I hear you read some books.
I read books.
You read books? Or like,
my
what kind of
books also, unfortunately, your book tied into the good news. My book tied into the bad news, which we'll talk about.
Should we just hit
here
that
in
button
a
and be
minute.
like, this is news and we review?
But I did also read. I caught up on Captain America because I had actually been 2 issues behind. I don't know what happened. I think I forgot.
You had a me moment.
Yeah, exactly. I was suddenly like, I don't read comics.
What podcast?
I'm a dad. But then I'm like, wait, I'm a dad and I
You're
read
a dad too
comics.
and you're comics.
Yeah,
You can read
whatever.
comics too, small people.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I do. Not Swamp Thing.
That would be amazing.
Planarian worms, plain Aryan worms. Let's talk about some news.
Night, night.
So off-putting.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. No, I heard it.
TCC Network.
So,
3 years in prison, huh? Anyway, that's not this news.
He made me do things. It was his idea.
No, we're not talking about that.
so the good news.
The good news.
We should
Yeah,
do
we're gonna do all the good news
mini,
first.
The minutes of you.
First,
Positive.
Solid and Ahmed is taking over writing Miss Marvel. It's gonna be the magnificent Miss Marvel.
I just heard this
Yeah,
now.
I'm so
Yes.
excited.
And G. Willow Wilson wrote a very nice farewell to Miss Marvel letter, published at Marvel.com. Right in the feels.
Right in the feels, but I'm so like, I don't know about this.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
You're
glad
excited
for
and
him.
scared.
I'm excited and scared.
Yeah. Well, his run on Exiles, which I found it just ended, which bummed me out because I really liked Exiles.
I don't know. It's actually, that's what made me scared, is that the Exiles run, I was really excited for it, but upon trying to read it, it was too show not tell. It was so text-based and too lengthy that it wasn't actually preceding the story. It was just walls of text. I don't know, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we'll see what he does. I mean, he's what did he just? There's something else. What did he just write beside? Oh, he did Black Bolt.
He did Black Bolt. Yeah.
Black Bolt got him awards. So we'll see what happens when he takes over. Yes, there's a ghost child on the stream now. In other good news, Chip Zdarsky is writing a. Are we going to call this one a mini, or are we going to call this one a maxi, or I don't know what we're going to call it.
Well, does it have wings?
I was gonna think about it.
She's so on top of this.
That's why I'm
As I was saying it, I didn't want it. I didn't want it to happen.
She was gonna do it anyway.
Anyway, Chip Zdarsky's taking over, but he's gonna be doing because his Amazing Spider-Man run has just ended, but he is gonna be now writing a Spider-Man story about if Spider-Man was actually aged, like if he actually aged, because he's he debuted in the '60s. What happens if he actually grew up past being high school and being in his 20s?
Old Man Parker.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not quite old man, but yes and no, like older man Parker.
The tarantula.
Yeah, older man Parker without like post-apocalyptic, like all the other old man stuff. Like it's
so
like
is this the Peter Parker that showed up in Into the Spider-Verse?
That's what a bunch of people are referencing. He's just kind of a little chubbier. Wears sweatpants. He's
Love
happy
burgers
with
a lot.
exactly.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
He's a jolly old soul.
Speaking of the chat,
and a button nose?
the chat once again is jumping ahead because Red Elephant mentioned the Hellboy trailer that we're getting tomorrow. That was going to be the next topic.
Hey,
It's going to be good.
hey,
Yeah,
hey,
we're
Red
looking forward to it.
Hey,
We
stop.
also
Hey,
he's got a mom voice on.
Hey,
The other
hey.
thing that we did get this week was an Umbrella trailer or Umbrella Academy trailer.
New
It
Umbrellas?
looked,
Yes.
it looked so good.
It looked really good.
looked really good.
I didn't expect them to.
Do what they did.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to dive in and like I that like a lot of times they're like, oh, this character has this defining quality, and they're like, no, that's a little too weird. They're like, no, he has a gorilla body, and we're gonna give him a gorilla body.
deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it, Netflix fans. So we got our first trailer for the Umbrella Academy, which is of course blanking on his name.
They sell umbrellas.
No, I'm blanking on his name. Gerard Way.
Bill Paxton.
Thank you.
Gerard
Way.
Way, yeah.
Not Bill
Yes,
Paxton.
Gerard Way is going to be.
It's magnifico.
Yes, si magnifico. Did anyone watch besides the Umbrella Academy trailer besides me?
I was a little scared they weren't going to go all in for it. So now that I've heard they are, I'll check it out. Because I thought I heard some rumblings that they were like, oh yeah, we're going to tone it down. So I'm glad they were like, no, gorilla body.
It's only a teaser, so there could very well like we might. I got a couple lines, a couple like iconic lines that I remember like stuck out from the comic, and I was like, okay, you've sold me so far, but again, it's just a teaser, so who knows what we're actually going to get. You have no idea what we're talking about.
Umbrella salesman.
Wait, have you not read?
It's
Umbrella
the
Academy?
T-virus,
I
right?
know,
Yeah.
I know, I've
Yes.
never
Oh,
read it.
Exactly.
Good.
I might-
Who are they connected to? I'm sorry.
If I was your
serious
Secret
question.
Santa, I might get
No,
that
it
too.
was a creator-owned book,
Oh.
creator-owned book by
Okay.
Gerard Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely independent.
It's really good.
Then the bad news of this week.
that?
So it quickly spiraled out of control into an insane situation. So earlier in the week, Antic Fire, stop yelling at me. We all love our friend of the show, hometown hero, Ramon Villalobos. And Ramon has had a breakout year. Up until this week, my best of was going to be a lot of the book that he was on with Tamara Bonvillain as doing colors and Eric Esquivel writing. And then this week we did get sexual abuse and harassment allegations against Eric Esquivel. They gave Eric a little bit of time to say something, and Vertigo and the creative team gave him a little bit of time. He didn't, so Tamara and Ramon both quit the book, and then subsequently DC Vertigo canceled it, and they've actually made it now returnable, which I believe is for retailers. They can return the copies that they've already been shipped or ordered. Sucks because I am not one of those people that I can't separate art from artist. Like if the artist is a bad person, I can't be like, oh, but I really like. Once I found out, like once I hit 18 and someone told me what Pablo Picasso was actually like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's tough, but I can't, I'm not a Pablo Picasso fan because of the crap he did. So Eric Esquivel, same thing. This book was great. I loved this book. Ramon loved this book. And then Eric, being the person that he is, that just washed it all down the drain.
He chose poorly.
Yes. Chose poorly, Crusader from The Last Crusade.
Yep.
Nicely done. He
Yeah.
picked it out.
What other reference was that going to be?
I was waiting to see how far you would take it.
Yeah. So
He must have crossed the seal. No, sorry.
yeah. So yeah, that's just it was
Watch your
bad news
episodes
after
with
bad
an eye.
news. It was people were hurt. A book is canceled. Creators are I know that DC and Vertigo are gonna get Tamara and Ramon back on another project because the book was selling like the hotcakes.
Super.
And, yeah, and we know just as much as anything. I know a lot of people try to compare movies and stuff to comics and movies, but the writer and the artist are not as separate as a lot of people seem to think.
Yeah.
So we know that just as much of Ramon was in that book as Eric.
Yeah.
Hence the death of Rat Queens.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say that Rat Queens, even though it's technically still going,
It died, came back, and it died.
It died, came back, and even then, it's still the numbers are nowhere near what they first were.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
all.
And
Yeah.
so,
It was tainted.
Yep.
Border Town, the idea for it belongs to a Squivel, correct? It's his idea. He created it. Okay.
It is a creator-owned book, so yeah. So that
never
means it's
mind.
not. It would. I think there could have been a thing where Vertigo could have probably pulled a string in the contract where it says, yeah, well, except if you were,
This type of person.
yeah, an offender of this type, and then we could take whatever. But yeah, so he would still own the rights to the book.
Got
So
it.
everyone's out. He's since deleted all of his social media accounts except his Twitter and is now private. And he is still, to my knowledge, made no statement. Which at this point, we don't care.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't care about it.
Yeah. So
Look out for the new book, Line City.
good one, man. Good one. That was a.
Oof.
Woo,
It was a
yeah.
woof moment.
That was a triple sands for you.
he's like.
The squeaky mallet is the only thing that made it better.
On to better things and worse things, but actually not worse,
Okay.
but worse in a different way.
But yeah.
Oh, that was questionable.
Yeah, that was
On to better things.
Take
on
two.
to the best and worst of this year.
There you go.
Not that category.
There we go.
Oy.
There it is.
Cut, take two.
Holy.
Hey, our
Like
main
beer.
topic is the best and worst of 2018. Best comic books, movies, video games, writers, authors, inkers, pencilers, letterers, and other topics. TV shows.
Mailboy.
Mailboy.
Publishers.
The best mailboy.
Best mailboy.
Yeah, best publisher. Yeah, so
Best male boy?
yes.
Oy.
Best
Best grip.
Man boy.
Thank you, Postman Kevin. You're wonderful, and I appreciate you. Glad I know my postman.
I don't
His
know
name
my
is Kevin.
postman. You don't hear about that anymore. You don't hear about people knowing like their postman. I think that's great.
As
So
Milkman.
there is the thing about best and worst is there's the best selling and then there's the best in our personal opinions. Obviously, our personal opinions
Are the best.
Usually, yes, the best, and very different from the actual numbers. So I figured what I'd start with is what actually was the best as far as numbers are concerned, because then we just get out of the way and go on to the stuff that is actually like good, which is our opinions.
Boo numbers.
Yeah, numbers. So, top selling individual comics of 2018. So I got the
wanna
top
talk.
10.
Okay.
Let's see if we can anyone guess what number 1 is? I'm going to do the rest, but we'll guess number 1.
Trying to think.
So what you have to think about is it's
Well, I
not
was gonna
just
say border
it's not just units, but
Batman
also you have to think
Damned.
about how much money it made.
Oh, okay.
Batman
I have a
Damned.
guess. What about Batman Black?
Oh, off the
the black
Bat-
Cloud.
that black label,
Batwang.
Batwang,
The
Batwang,
Batarang.
the Batawang is actually not on the
Hashtag.
list at all of the top 10. I mean, it could
Okay.
easily.
Oh.
Bataway.
It was very cold, that list.
I'm gonna go Batman
shrinkage.
50.
That's number 2.
Ooh.
Number 2 with 44.
It's all about the
wedding.
440,890. Yeah, estimated units.
What about a Batman Batmetal? The
The
metal-
Dark
That
Knight.
was actually number 11. That is right outside the top
really?
10.
Is it one of the top 2?
Is it the big 2?
Yes,
Oh.
Okay.
it is. It is the original. The
Brian Michael Bendis Superman?
almost Action Comics 1000. Action Comics 1000, which again,
Good job.
the reason it sold so much is because it's twice as much as any. But it actually sold the most units as well as, of course, made the most actual dollars because
Okay.
it was. So
So we've got 1 and 2. So hit
1
us
and
off
2.
with
So through the rest of them, it's actually a bunch of repeats. It kind of gets funny. Amazing Spider-Man is in here like 5 times. So Amazing Spider-Man 800 was in the 3rd spot. Fantastic Four number 1. In the 4th spot, Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Return of Wolverine number 1. Venom number 1. Amazing Spider-Man 798, 799, and Justice League number 1 rounds out the top 10.
Is that
Remember,
the
these
rebirth?
are just
Justice
units.
League number 1?
Yes. Yeah, that was the one that Scott took over.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, follows us on Twitter.
The good one.
Yeah. The one that was so good. Like, yeah.
The good one. The good one. So that about wraps it up for the top selling comics. Now that's not to say it's the same as top selling trades.
Oh,
So
no.
trades
Yep.
encompasses collected volumes and original graphic novels because those were individual floppy issues. Now the thing about this list is it shows best selling trades. That is not necessarily what was new this year. It could also
Saga.
count reorders,
Yeah.
which is in that list a couple of times.
I know it is.
But the number one most purchased trade.
Swamp
I'm
Thing.
not looking at your
No,
iPad.
that'll be
Oh,
great.
I know
Do
you'd
you
be
have
so
any guesses?
excited.
Think about what came out this year.
East of West didn't come out this year.
Yeah, it did.
No, not the well, I mean,
Infinity
it was
War.
announced. Infinity Gauntlet, the
Oh,
trade
that makes
paperbacks,
sense. Okay, that
was
makes
the
sense.
highest one, followed by Saga Volume 9, and then Saga Volume 1, Saga Volume 8. They're all just in there. And then Action Comics, the collected Action Comics, Walking Dead's in there, Dark Knight's Metal, the deluxe hardcover. And then Paper Girls is still in there twice. And then
Wow.
Batman White Knight.
Nice.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh,
That'll
yeah.
pop in there.
That's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, and then I mean, if you go in, then you go into like the top 100, like there's you're always a guess, yes, of course. And I mean, honestly, what it comes down to with a lot of these is it's always DC and Marvel because DC and Marvel was shipping everywhere.
Yeah.
you know, there might be stuff that's better, again, in our opinion, but is not getting shipped to every store, not getting ordered by every store. Stuff from Image, Boom, IDW.
Domestic.
Is this domestic?
You're right. This is right, but domestic.
Yay! And then the last number game we're gonna do is the highest grossing movies. So these were the best movies
In
as
the
far
US.
as dollar amount. Yes.
All right.
So interesting. I thought this was
It's the other way around if you go
Is
worldwide.
this really current numbers?
Okay, so this does not
Okay.
include Spider-Verse.
Okay.
It does not include, of course, it won't include Aquaman until the 21st.
Yeah.
because
My
that's
question
international.
is, does it include Venom, the surprise runaway
Yeah,
hit
the
of the
surprise
year?
runaway
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Financially,
Surprise
a
hit of
success.
the year.
Interesting. This was what's kind of crazy to me is because I looked up highest grossing movies, not highest grossing comic book movies. I looked up highest grossing movies, and the majority of them are comic book movies,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
just
yeah.
something crazy to say. But they're the blockbusters. They're the huge ones. Any guesses as to number one?
Who's number one?
The Avengers.
No.
Panther?
Black Panther.
Black Panther's
Yeah.
number one.
Yep.
Avengers is number
Boom.
two.
So worldwide, it's flipped around.
Yeah.
Infinity War is number one.
Yeah.
Black Panther, but in the U.S., Black Panther's number one.
I mean, yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Rounding out the top five: Incredibles 2, Jurassic World: Fallen
Nice.
Kingdom, Deadpool 2. And then interesting that it's already in the top 10 is Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
That is interesting.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
That's expected.
Yeah, because Xenu. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Solo, a Star Wars story, which technically can be considered comics if you want to. And then Venom wraps out number 10.
So like Grinch, Mission Impossible, Jurassic World that are not comic related.
Yeah, I mean, technically there is Jurassic
Oh, you're right.
comics. They're not. I mean, not recently.
I mean, and Seuss is a book.
Yeah, Seuss is a picture
So
book.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Get on that, Tom Cruise. Give us a comic book,
Nice.
but don't put your weird Illuminati stuff in there.
Too
Just-
late.
Nope.
Just be a short, weird person. No, he's a terrible individual. So now on to the important stuff. What we actually think.
Yes.
The stuff
That
that is
matters.
opinion based and
Yeah,
the way we get to
enough
explain.
with these facts.
Enough with these numbers and figures. and-
facts.
yeah, alternative. No, I'm not gonna.
It's too angry. It's too
Quickly, I'm gonna run through Manderson's because he's not here, and I told him I would, but he
Okay.
wanted me to drop them, but I'm not going to. I don't know what he meant. Drop some.
angry. Oh, okay.
He didn't give me a favorite comic, I think because he was still thinking about it. But his favorite artist was actually Patrick Gleason and Jim Lee. Solid. He colors Brad Anderson, which he just likes Brad Anderson because his name is Anderson. That's always been his joke.
that's
And I think we still argue whether or not we can't figure out if he does Clifford the Big Red Dog. Letters, Pat Brousseau. Writers, Al Ewing, Bendis, Tom King. Publisher, DC. I'm sensing a trend here. His favorite movie, Infinity War and I Kill Giants.
Okay. Take it.
TV show, Daredevil and Flash. And then we'll talk about his worst later on. So, Stevs,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to pass it to you for best comic
Best
of 2018. Now, this can include an individual issue, an arc, a collected series, an entire series, an original graphic novel. I will gladly, if you want to give me a manga or anything, it's all fair game. Amy's back.
Everything.
Everything's
Yeah.
fair game.
All the manga I can have.
All the manhwa. I
Stebs?
like mine from Korea.
Best
I do,
comic of
actually. I got a couple
2018.
of those.
I'm gonna give a arc, like the story, and one issue.
Okay.
The one issue, Hack's Last Resurrection, issue 1. good singer back.
Was that the one that I?
That's the one. Yes.
That you had romantic candles and.
Teeny.
That I lit candles.
No.
Miss Teeny.
Yeah, Teeny Howard.
the
Teeny
Teeny.
Howard wrote it.
She's gonna be writing a Glow comic, by the way.
Really?
Completely unrelated, but Teeny Howard's gonna be writing.
She's a
a
big
Glow
wrestling
comic.
fan.
Nice.
So yes,
It's true.
issue number 1 of /Resurrection. Otherwise, full arc. Captain America, Winter in America. I've been told by everyone that this is a story I would like. It still took me until December to read it, and I read it.
winter yet.
It wasn't winter.
It was exactly
Solid.
Thank
Quick
you.
giving excuses.
I got you 66.
Aww. Family forever.
But everyone always told me, dude, you're going to love this arc. That's the exact word you told me. You're going to love this arc. It's fantastic. And they were right. It's a storyline that I really, really enjoy. It's topical. It deals with lots of stuff we're dealing with today.
You're the type of person that you are hardcore, like you love your country, you are a hardcore patriot, but you are also hypercritical of those who abuse power and abuse the name and the
In my
it's the word I'm looking for. I don't remember what it is.
In my opinion, a true patriot is one who will show the goods of their country and also critique the bads. Not try to hide it, not try to put it under the rug. You show the bad that we've done and try to correct it. That, to me, is a true patriot.
Captain America.
Everyone else, yes.
Fighting nuke.
Everyone else is nationalists, in my opinion. And those are not patriots. Do not combine the two. Do what he's doing to nationalists. Anyway.
Thor all of a sudden with pink and purple. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Amy,
Hiya.
best comic of 2018.
I got a couple.
Okay.
I missed it. What was it?
I got a couple.
I got a couple. Yeah,
Oh.
really.
So-
I thought the title was so fast. What?
Of course.
A gabol? A gabol? I don't know what that is.
I
never read the comic.
So, of course, I always have a couple because it's my long time running, even though we went on hiatus. Saga 54 was one of my favorite books that just totally got me rats in the feels, but Saga as a whole has always been great, so I always put them as one of my favorite comics. A surprise sleeper actually for me was Unnatural by Mirka Andolfo. It's literally sitting right over there next to Happy.
Yeah, with the pig nose.
Yeah, well, she's a pig.
Yeah.
She's
That makes
so
sense.
it's and I brought it up as when I went through and read
Yeah.
it. It's one of my absolute favorites. It came from Italy. It was translated.
Italian.
Yes. So the author there actually translated it to English, but it's dealing with the government deciding who you can marry based on what they're all animals. And if by the age of 26 you as a pig, a rat, a goat, whatever, have not married someone in the same species, they set you up and they
Whoa.
make you mate. And they make you,
That's not
So
nice.
having any type of love for anybody outside or even of the same gender, regardless of your species, is forbidden. And
I don't like
it's
it.
Nope.
no.
Nope.
So
I don't like it.
our protagonist, her name is Leslie, and she's the pig. It is an MA book, so no red elephant. You cannot read it right now.
Sorry.
She's actually dreaming of a white wolf, and it's the 5th issue just came out last week. I have it in my stuff, and I haven't read it. Stop.
I
You're
almost went to a
blushing. You're
song.
blushing.
I almost went to a
And
song.
then the other one, of course, which I love truly, madly, deeply, was
Dreaming.
Moonstruck.
Yes.
Moonstruck. I cannot talk enough.
Oh.
So exactly. So good. If I can't even. It's magic.
It's got something for everyone.
love. It's when it
Coffee
came
shops.
when it
Coffee
when it
shops,
came out.
centaurs,
When it
Two of my
initially,
Friends of
favorite
Dorothy.
things.
it's got magic shows.
That
It's got
coffee shop AU that you've always wanted.
Exactly.
Well, the best part was when it initially released in 2017, the doc and I were actually working at a comic book and coffee shop, which was very apropos. But it's continued and carried through, and I love what they've done with this arc and how they've taken such good care of the characters, and it's good. So love is love is love. Was I doing a worst or just the best?
Just best right now.
Just best.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
Spent.
Of a white wolf.
No, damn it. I thought you were gonna go.
Just like
I
the
thought you were
fuzzy
gonna-
ones you used to know.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go. Give Bucky his arm. Anyway,
Wait.
Well, so it would just be
accurate.
End credit scene. White wolf.
Stephanie, what is your best comic of
I
2018?
didn't see that coming.
So this one is more of like, I'm really glad. So this is an old one, but I'm glad that DC decided to publish it again in the year of 2018.
That counts.
Because this the saga of Stephanie Brown as Batgirl was a whole thing where Dan Didio and the powers that be at
Boo.
DC Comics did not let anyone use the character of Stephanie Brown for a good 5 to 7 years for a bit, and it was really bad. And so as a result, they didn't reprint her comics either. So her volumes were going for, especially volume 1 was like over $100 if you wanted to buy a like one of the old ones. So they finally this year reprinted her books, and you can get her books as a volume 1 and 2. They're both out again, and I recommend picking it up.
They
Yeah.
look pretty.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. They have like really beautiful artwork for the covers, which are done by the person who did the little Gotham artwork on the interiors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
all
keep saying
so
Carl Kersel, and I don't think it's Carl.
and then Brian Q. Miller is the writer of it, and he writes a college-age Stephanie Brown going and becoming Batgirl after Cassandra gives her the mantle when Batman dies. Because Cassandra's like, no, I don't think he's quite dead, but in not so many words, I'm going to go find him and figure out what I'm going to do.
Nice.
And so
sorry, Dad.
Cassandra goes out, and Barbara Gordon takes Stephanie Brown under her wing, and it's really, really good. I love it.
Was there like a hollow reason that they gave for why they wouldn't let?
Do you want? I know this story. Do you guys want this story on the podcast?
Is it?
It's so petty.
Okay. Yeah. I
Tell
wanna
us.
Okay,
So-
flashback.
Daryl wants to know.
Flashback. So
He's ready.
Rebirth, or not Rebirth, New 52 has been announced.
Already a problem.
And we're at Comic-Con that year.
Yeah.
And Dan Didio is giving a
Danny D.
a panel at Comic-Con, and a person dressed as Stephanie Brown Batgirl comes up to the mic and is like, why don't you guys have more books with female characters as the lead? Why don't you guys have more writers that are people of color and women? Dan
What say
Didio,
you,
instead
Dan?
of being like, we are working on that, we have plans.
Oh no.
Dan Didio decides to reply with,
Oh no.
why don't you give us a list of people that we can hire? Why do you guys want so much from us, essentially? Yeah, so really bad. So that was huge press. That was supposed to be their bright new shiny announcement of New 52.
And the guys next to him were like, okay. Well,
yeah,
oh,
Comicsgate before Comicsgate.
Yep.
Yeah, essentially. And so that happened, and I think that's why he didn't let anyone use it, because Brian Q. Miller also wanted to use Stephanie Brown as Batgirl in the Smallville comic. He announced it. He did press tour talking about how he's using her. And then a few months before the book came out, they decided he had to come and be like, hey, Dan Didio said I can't use this character, so we're making it Barbara Gordon. So they just colored her hair different and made her Barbara Gordon. And then Little Gotham was going to put this girl dressed as Batgirl, blonde hair, purple suit, in there. Before it went to print, they had the artist recolor her hair black.
Wow.
So
that
it
is
wasn't-
super petty.
Yeah. So I am glad in the year 2018 that you can buy a reasonably priced Stephanie Brown Batgirl and a reasonably priced Cassandra Cain Batgirl, because they just reprinted that too.
Is Dan Didio still there?
Yes.
Wow. Oh,
But
okay.
that's confirmed that Dan Didio is a nice guy TM.
What a last name. Didio.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. So that's it's an oldie, but I'm gonna say I'm just glad that you can buy that
can
reasonably
finally get
priced.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then pass the football.
Way to go, Didio.
Ew. So
Yeah.
mine, I actually have two. One's actually a single issue, and then one is actually an arc. So mine is actually written by Joshua Williams. I dig the Justice League Odyssey.
Yeah.
It is such a fantastic book. It's got my favorite artist in there. I won't name him, but
Yet.
Wink Wonk, he's great. But it's a fantastic way to get people into like the ghost sector and a lot of like the Green Lantern stuff. It's got my favorite Lantern, Jessica Cruz, in there. She's fantastic. She's hanging out on her own. Finally, she has enough ability to believe in herself to actually wield her ring. And she has to stop Cyborg and Starfire and Azrael from doing some real dumb stuff. And Darkseid shows up, claiming that he is the key to it all, and he's not their enemy, because they're all new gods. Question mark? But it's super cool. I dig it. I always love the concept of the new gods and how basically anyone could somehow become a new god. So it's really cool seeing this new lore and new legends come around. So that first issue was, it was good. A good spaghetti.
What's the brand name?
And then my arc that is currently happening, but Heroes in Crisis. So good. It hurts so good, but I love it.
Hurts so good.
Come on, baby.
Anyway, sorry.
And just the story of heroes in the DC universe going to a place to talk and sit down about their issues and stuff that they've had to deal with as heroes at the Sanctuary. That a place that the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman made for them with technology all of their own. But something happened, and all the heroes that were there getting treatment have been killed.
Oh.
And on the one hand, it's really great, and I love the writing by Tom King. It's very cool seeing it happen. On the other hand, my critical brain is very not excited because this is clearly DC getting rid of their legacy characters.
Yeah.
So it's great, but it's not. But it hurts so good.
Yeah.
Like they have Lagoon Boy in there. Lagoon Boy. Like they outed Lagoon Boy in like one issue, and they actually acknowledged Little Barda.
Yeah.
Like
They did. That's right.
so that's why
He took up a good chunk
I'm just
of that-
picturing
that
Swamp Thing
issue,
sidekick.
but
Swamp Thing and Lagoon Boy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
He'd be Fenlad.
Finlad.
Yeah.
Fern lad.
Come here, Lagoon Boy.
So funny that you mentioned the Tom King because he's going to come up multiple times.
Nice.
Will he?
But so I was thinking, 2018. It's been a simultaneously long and short year.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we didn't have Olympics and Black Panthers
It's
here. And they're like,
lasted
no,
4
we had
years.
Olympics and Black
2018's
Panthers.
lasted 4 years.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's only the second year of the presidency, and it's just,
oh, it is.
yeah.
Oh.
complaining?
Anyway,
I thought it was over
no,
already.
that's the thing. So
I promise I'm smart.
it's okay.
I'm smart.
So 2018 has been really weird. It's also been really strange because my wife had a baby
You
Christmas
had-
Eve. Well, I mean, I didn't physically have, but I have one now.
Yes, you have one now.
I was involved in the process.
I appreciate that you know the difference, and I love you for it. I appreciate.
I mean, I think I went into the hospital. I think I produced or directed.
You have the producer
I don't know the
credits.
difference anymore.
You
Producer
you
credits.
produced Dr. Director.
You were best boy.
Key grip.
Woo, key grip.
I like that she's like, you produced.
Anyway, so 2018 was a weird one for me because my sleep was off and it was strange and I mean I helped
needs it?
keep a person alive and
It's crazy, isn't
and
it?
yeah,
This
and
is why
she's
you're
doing all
supposed
these
to get
things.
the award of baby's still alive.
See?
At 1 year, it's celebrating you as much as it's like, baby,
Alive.
you're alive. Baby won't
I
remember.
did okay, and I was trying to think. There's so many good comics like this year. It's insane.
Saturation is
The saturation,
so
and
much.
and I'm not upset at all about the saturation. I'm just wading through this beautiful pool of just colors and writers.
Keep tossing his hair and all. I keep thinking
Exactly,
of
like
books
I'm
flying
just,
away from your hair.
on certain illicit, and
Fear
rubbing
and loathing.
Yeah, fear. But this year was really strange for me, like I said, because I had a kid, and so through it all, there was one comic that I felt like got me more than anything when it came to having a kid, having a newborn, and having that kid grow, and going through those growing pains. Mr. Miracle.
Yep.
Mr. Miracle was like Tom and Mitch. Just they got me. Like at one point when Mr. Miracle, he's warming up the bottle in the coffee mug, and it just says "I am God," and Funky's there, who's Stan Lee, and he's just like standing there, both looking at the bottle, and he's just like, Excelsior. And I'm just like this. I wish I had a young Stan Lee just hanging out with me while I raised the baby. So Mr. Miracle
looks over to the corner. No, he's not there.
So yeah, Mr. Miracle for me, amazing. Like it was a great book, but there were so many good ones. But I think Mr. Miracle just stuck out the most. The entire series, I finally was able to wrap it up, and I loved it. It got me on an emotional and a mental level, and also just it looked beautiful and the writing was good. And I'm not sure if I ever want to see that many 9-panel pages ever again, but I just still really enjoyed
Dark
it.
side is.
Did
Or do you want Jell-O?
Did we see the? I know I saw it. Did you see the image from Deadpool's comic? There's a page
Where Deadpool is.
He's mocking the talking. Wait for it. 9-page panel. And he's like watching it the whole time. We did not Beats panel. Tom King actually shared it.
Yeah.
He shared the panel.
I was all about that.
Dark side dares to sit on your couch.
He'd eat from a vegetable tray.
Snacky snacks.
And then digitally, I don't know. Digital. You ready for this? I did digital.
Shoot. Then I got one if you run digital, bro.
I follow Aminder Dhaliwal on Instagram, and she does this comic called Woman World, where it's
My everyday life.
It's this future where it's like Why the Last Man if there was never a last man. It's just all women. They figured out the science of being able to reproduce, but they still only create women. And they don't really remember the way the world was when there was men. So like they'll send the daughters out to forage, and they send them to this place called the mall. And they have to like come back, and they come back and like, Grandma, I found this artifact. Is this what man was like? And she holds up a DVD copy of Paul Blart Mall Cop. It's
Yes, dear.
It's
That's
so
what
good.
we're like.
It's
Put that on the list to what?
it's so good. And then at one point they go
lost me, I'm
to Spencer's Gift. And they go to the bachelorette party section, and they're just like, and they're putting on the glasses with all the fake, and the straws with the fake, and they're like, "Where's the men's? What is a men's bachelor party like?" And they just look over there, and it's just sad and nothing, and they're just like, "Oh well," and they just keep putting the fake things on. It's Aminder Dhaliwal. I believe she actually works at Disney, but she does this on.
That makes a lot of sense. As adult Disney cast member, we know how to talk about some real interesting stuff very magically.
Yeah, so she's super talented. So I really like. So that was her Instagram is fantastic.
In other words, going and subscribing now.
Exactly. So
Wait,
now,
can I get you a digital really fast?
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
So I follow one. It's through an app called Webtoon.
Yes.
And the one I absolutely love right now is called Lore Olympus. It's by Rachel Smythe.
Oh, yeah.
Right now it's the retelling of Persephone and Hades. But the art the art is so adorable. Ugh. Okay. I loves it. Okay, nice. There are some other things.
I think wasn't that your Round the Horn last week?
Yep. Because I read
it.
It comes out every Sunday. They've got 42 episodes currently in. It's really quick, fast, easy. But it's not the he was down there like scurvy bad guy steals Persephone. I'm calling it like him. It's not the in the retelling. It's not Hades goes, kidnaps Persephone, makes it, lures her, seduces her to eat the pomegranates. This is more, he's just trying, she goes home, falls asleep in his car after a party, ends up in the underworld. He's like, there's a girl in my car. What the heck? And it's this great, like, he's in a relationship and he doesn't want anything to do with it. He's just trying to be a nice guy to get her home. And she just keeps coming back because she's spunky. I'm like, this is my jam.
And that's on Webtoons?
It's on Webtoons.
Is it free?
Yeah.
Downloading it now.
Free every Sunday.
So I have to download the web.
Sunday.
You can use
truck run.
You can use your our line that we don't use anymore. You can use that to log in. Anyway,
Because it's from Line.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyway, I love
Free sodas for the kids.
It's like the chat understands my
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Antic Fire, so obviously.
I didn't know he read it, so that's kind of cool.
So the next one, I know they don't like being lumped in together, but I'm gonna lump in creative teams all as one, mainly just because I want to make sure like.
We can hit it and keep on.
Yeah, just because they're all. I think they're going to be related. So artists.
Hit them and quit them.
I would rather stay and play.
Breakfast. Artists, writers,
My legs are long.
inkers if you have them, colorists if you have them, letterers if you have them. Now those are optional just because people sometimes don't know. They don't realize that they really like a letterer. They might not realize they might not follow a letter. Like I follow a couple on Twitter, and through that I was like, oh, there's this whole world of how important letters are. You don't think about it because it's something so understated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they're also important, but
too.
also it's also understandable if you're not aware of who they are, because usually it's writer, artist. They're usually the big ones that are in your face. So creative teams. So best creative team, and they don't have to all be on one team. Mine are obviously from different ones. So we're gonna do this slightly different. We're gonna hop. You're gonna go last.
Got it.
Amy.
Holla.
Best creative team. So I want your best writer, best artist. If you got ink, if you got color, if you got letters, go for it.
I actually have it on my little tiny paper. So one of my favorite artists, of course, is going to be Fiona Staples and BKV off Saga. It's always consistent. For colors and letters, I'm going to go with the guys off I Hate Fairyland because they wrapped up. So it's Jean-Francois Belouis, I believe is his name, or Bellew. He's been with Scotty on a lot of things. He's always his colors.
Scotty.
So it's been fantastic for Scotty Young. And then Nick Pietas is his letterer, and especially for Fairyland because of just the dynamic of the changing that you would need to get where you needed to go, like because of the design of some of the swearing and that it gets bubbly and not bubbly and thinner and bigger, and so it's super dynamic and I love it. Was I supposed to do a rider on that one too?
Yes.
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 Go for Ryder.
Yeah.
Okay, rider, jumping that ship. I'm going with Kelly Thompson, who has had the knockdown drag out year. She has been stunning with Mr. and Mrs. X. I have loved it. The voice of, you got that bow staff? There you go.
I'm going there in January.
It is.
Look at that crawdad.
Get a crawdad.
Get a pork
Where
belly.
Rogat? What Rogat?
But she's also she's done so many. She's also doing I believe it's The Life of Captain Marvel right now. She's on a whole bunch of books.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like her year.
It is
Yeah.
her year.
Okay, so I love The Life of Captain Marvel. How did I not realize it was Kelly Thompson?
Yeah,
I'm
I don't know, bro.
She's here,
I'm bad at my
she's there,
job.
she's everywhere.
Bad at my job.
Who are you gonna call? Kelly Thompson.
Thompson. So that's definitely my those are my tops for my preferreds, and I'm sticking to them guns, yo.
Guns. Dig it.
Hit it.
So I also put, we were talking about this before the show, and I was like, oh yeah, Kelly Thompson, actually. So that's mine too, because she's very talented and knocking it out of the park this year. For artists, I kind of chose some of my favorite cover and I guess interior artists. So I chose Stepan Stejak, and because
Sajak?
always knocks it out of the park.
Not Pat Sajak.
No,
Look at the wheel here.
Is that how you
I
pronounce it?
believe so.
Bankrupt.
I always saw it as like I would just be like it's super European Steven because I couldn't figure out how else to say it.
But yeah, you may know them from Sunstone,
Yes.
or perhaps the less critically known, but please read it because I really want a sequel to it, Death Vigil.
Death Vigil.
Please
Yes.
support him.
So good.
Might be going on a Patreon.
Yeah, maybe going on Patreon, so check that
I'm
out.
down with that. Yeah, don't
Oh,
read that
that's
right
up,
now.
please.
Don't read that on
show
camera.
that now.
Read it under the table.
Read it quietly and to
Quietly.
yourself.
I have a new favorite comic.
That's what I told you about. It's wonderful.
I'm
It's
correcting
it's
mine.
great for relationships.
Yeah.
Also, if we can talk about web things real quick before
Yeah.
I get totally
Get it.
off track on my
Oh,
second one.
hello.
He has also been doing on his own, not as a paid thing, Wonder Woman Lara Croft crossover
I've
comics.
seen those
that have
I've seen
been
him posting on Twitter.
Amazing.
They're a lot of fun.
So that's also for that alone,
Yeah.
Best Artist 2018.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's so good. We actually just unpacked it today. He did the cover for Justice League, and we just lost.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
his run with Aquaman was amazing when Dan Abnett was writing.
Yeah.
It made me so sad because when he took over Rat Queens, that's when I was like,
It's gonna be awesome.
it's gonna happen.
That was around the time he hurt his hand really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
So,
He spread himself really thin, and then he had to kind of back off.
yeah. So my other one, real quick, is the Dodsons.
Get it, Dodson.
Their covers have been fantastic on like practically everything that they've done. Alternate covers for DC. So I felt like a good shout out to them. Yeah. And then that is my picks.
Good timing.
The good timing.
Yeah, I figured since you basically took all of mine.
You can repeat. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Find something
Carrying
new.
a chair.
Yeah,
You guys gotta
basically
stop
what she
spending so
said.
much time
But
together.
actually, I had a letterer, and I just completely spaced on their name because I was super excited that DC last week actually finally released a new showcase. They haven't done that in years.
Oh, that's
and I love that they're
right.
finally deciding, hey, I guess we have people that are really cool and not really well known. I guess we should show their stuff off. Maybe.
We like them.
Let's show 'em.
But they're all they're babies in the industry right now. And there is a letterer in there. And it's like they only had one letterer in that workshop class. But she's fantastic. Specifically her stuff in the Catwoman. If you pick that up, I don't remember her name for the life of me.
Isn't it Gabriel?
Yeah, I feel like it's Gabriella something.
Here, I can look it up.
You can't try it. Really try it. I was just trying it.
Just
They
Google
don't-
it, isn't it?
We're
Yeah.
sorry that DC failed.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they don't you can't
Didio.
find it anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
they don't list it. Like
Didio?
Comixology doesn't list it. Like,
yeah,
they don't list that
list
kind
it.
of
That's
information.
why I was just looking up, and I thought there was an
Do you want me to
issue.
go grab the book?
That's what I was just trying to do,
Oh.
but it's fine.
Gotcha.
So yeah, definitely check that out for sure because that has a lot of really good lettering work. But Stepan Sajak is amazing.
Yeah.
That stuff is so pretty. Sunstone is a fantastic love story.
To the few looks.
Love story.
It is an actual love
Relationship.
story.
It's so
love story.
good.
Yeah,
It is
it's
so
good.
And the way they catch you right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Where
Well,
it's
and
like,
then also
gratuitous.
his stuff in like Justice League Odyssey as well.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Missed out on
It's
a lot
so
in 2018.
painterly, but it has so much motion.
I love his stuff.
That cover alone.
His face, the faces that he
Croft?
creates. I love his faces.
Ah, Mrs. and Mrs. Croft. I'm so
Mrs.
excited.
Croft.
His new DC story.
Right. He's really good.
Who publishes some?
Top Cow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Top Cow,
Top Cow.
which is technically Image.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We know what you want for Christmas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Fantastic.
it's
It's
so much
stunning.
fun.
I did it.
Seriously,
You got-
I found her. It is
Nice.
Gabriella Downey.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Dig it.
shout out to you. We noticed your work.
We do.
We
Those are
appreciate
important.
all
you,
seriousness
Matt.
aside from my jokes, the artwork looks beautiful. On
Oh,
video.
yeah.
it
It's
looks
stunning.
fantastic.
You would appreciate
Nice.
what the message
Nice.
kind of that it
Yeah.
has. Nice. Fantastic. Oh, it's my turn.
You.
Yeah. So speaking of, I mean, and this is again, there's so much. I was like going through it. I'm like, oh, there's so many artists, and I know we were gonna list. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep it kind of contained. Of course, originally I had 2, and then because of the bad news, I'm still gonna give it to him because even though
X is gonna give it to him.
yes, art. Sorry, that was my bark. Open up the door. It's real. Wheelie. Ramon Villalobos,
Yes.
hometown hero, friend of the show.
Fantastic.
His stuff on Border Town. It's like I don't want to tell you to go buy it because it's like
Check out his
Support.
website.
yes,
Yes,
there you
there
go.
you go.
Check out his
Go to
website.
his
He has
Instagram or his
Patreon.
Twitter or
Yep.
anything. Like
Support
just check out his
him.
artwork.
and
it's
keep an eye
beautiful.
out for his next project.
Yes, whatever it's gonna be. I love that he was able to do. He was able to show off so much more than just superheroes. He was able to go into his culture and stuff like that. So it was really
He's
cool.
all about them sneakers, yo.
Oh, the sneakers. So Ramon definitely, and then I never know how to pronounce his last name, but I always want to say it looks like it's Jared's to me, Mitch, but I don't know if it's Gerads.
Oh, Gerads.
Gerads. Yes, Mitch. Yes, Mitch G on Mr. Miracle,
Nice.
of course. Like
Yes.
the way, like the art, the style, the way he drew. Mr. Miracle, not quite knowing what was real, what wasn't, who was actually there. I thought was really good. Colorist, Tamara Bonvillain, who worked on Border Town with Ramon, but she's also done a lot of other stuff. I really like the way she colors, along with Jordy. Oh,
Yeah, I thought it was LaForge too, so you jumped that one before me.
to me, it looks like Bel Air.
yeah.
Bellair. Because the problem is you don't hear these people getting interviewed, so you don't hear them saying their names.
That's the problem.
Because they're not. Because
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, they're just. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, if you don't understand how important colors are,
Yeah,
and
super
some
important.
artists do their own colors, which is totally fine. So it is called all encompassed. But if you have someone who just does the pencils and the inks, and then the color can be everything. It can set the mood on a piece of art. So Jordy Belair, and then Matt Hollingsworth. He did 7 to Eternity. His colors are
His colors are stunning.
That last
amazing.
name. Hollingsworth.
He's great. He's a veteran, but he's also lifts up so many other creators. He's really talented. And then letterers, Taylor Esposito, half because of his Twitter feed, also because of his letters. And then writer, I have to give it to him because for me, it's also been his year. And it's Tom King because
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Tom basically like he's the reason I liked DC this year, which is because I don't like DC a lot of the times. I have my issues, and a lot of the stuff that he did with Batman, with Heroes in Crisis, with
Yeah.
Mr. Miracle. Hi, Tom King is really, and of course, I mean, obviously everything before Vision and Sheriff of Babylon. It's just I love Tom King. He's great. So Stevs, creative teams.
Yes, I'm going to do writer and artist. I did not go into the depth of colorist.
It's tough sometimes.
I would love to say Tom King and Mitch because I read Sheriff of Babylon and I've been a fan of theirs ever since that.
Yeah.
But as we all know, I've been bad this year in the comic book world.
Get it? Santa, he's been naughty.
It's cold.
Which are on that side.
That's I graduated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So love Tom King, Mitch G, but I don't have enough knowledge this year to say they're my favorites of the year. But I love you guys and I follow you on Twitter. So best writer and honorable mention. First, the best, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, dig it.
Lionel Francis Yu, that's his writing partner on Captain America: Winter in America.
Oh, okay.
Those two are writing it together. Ta-Nehisi's the main, and then him as well. And my honorable mention is Teenie Howard's run on Hack Slash
Yay.
Resurrection.
Yeah. Did you read Teenie Howard did the annual for Captain America?
No.
Yeah.
Got to read that.
Yeah.
Also follow her on social media. For artists, I went the same route as you. I did not read Border Town. I know how great it is, but I've seen his work for the comic and on his Twitter account. So Ramon is my best artist. The guy was on our show. He was great. Was literally creating things to my right, just drawing away. As we had a different segment going on, I'm just sitting there going like, yeah, comics, yeah.
Yeah, you kept
Look what
staring.
He's
You
doing.
kept staring.
Look at the knee pads.
Look at the knee.
Look at the shoes.
Look at those shoes.
Bernie Sanders and the Adidas. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
My honorable mention for art was for issue 3, the cover of issue 3 of Hack/Resurrection by Tim Seeley and Addison Duke. I just really like that cover of Miss Cassie Hack.
Yeah.
So issue 3 of that one.
It's all stabby.
And no one mentioned it, but Clayman's been doing a lot.
That's
And again, there's so much.
There's a
There's so
lot.
much right
It's
now.
kind of a red letter year for comics. You know, like a couple years ago, where it was like, oh, there's so much not good stuff
Right.
going on.
And
We
I-
were like,
and
do you want
actually-
to talk about how terrible that was?
Based on the
No.
sales, which again, it's not necessarily representative of quality, but the sales this year bounced back, as last year actually comic sales did take a dip. And this year has actually been back on an upswing. So it's been a good year for comics across the board. Just don't try to debate that with a comics gator, because they'll tell you 91 pouches.
Actually,
Khakis.
Actually. So let's keep it right going along. Best publisher of 2018.
so hard.
Now, yeah, this one's kind of
I grouped by how many. I basically I will start this off. So it took a bit because everybody's been having literally a red letter year. There's next to nothing I can't recommend or go, do you know what? The big two really stunk this year.
Worst episode ever.
Worst episode ever.
Thank you, Captain Underpants.
So I actually went with the publisher I ended up reading the most books from this year, which happened to be, of course, my boys and ladies at Image.
Yeah.
So that's my best publisher.
Yeah.
Even though DC bounced back so dang hard. It was
DC had a great year.
beautiful, and Marvel's like, we got some things, you guys.
Yeah, Marvel's all
Figure
over
this
the
out.
place, but they're still doing well.
Yeah, they're doing well, but they're not my favorite publisher of the year.
That's how I feel when I look at the Marvel section. I'm just exactly.
So
Ghost
I'm
Kid.
going
It's
to
the Kermit the
say
Frog.
that Image is going to be my publisher of the year.
Always.
There we go. I literally had to make a list.
Yeah. You like check like, okay, I'm reading 40
Who's
of their
got
titles.
this? Who's
with
got
39 of
that?
theirs. Stephanie.
I mean, like I said, it's hard because everyone has really good. It's not like there were some years there where it was really easy to be like, DC,
Right.
Marvel,
Right.
and I have an answer that I feel that's your answer.
It is my answer.
Do you want to
Yeah.
let me go?
So I'm gonna
Do you
go.
want to do it in tandem?
We
That'd be
can do
cute.
one.
Who's their answers to 3? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
DC. Well, mine specifically, my answer that she was going to give. I chose DC because I tell people I had a divorce with DC. Once they did the New 52, I was a hardcore DC gal. That's what I grew up on. It was my bread and butter. I grew up reading the 70s, 80s, Teen Titans. That was my thing. And they did me dirty with the New 52 with everybody across
They
the
did
board.
everybody dirty.
And with Rebirth, man, I know it started last year, but Rebirth, I feel this year in particular, definitely ramped up everything. They had great writers, they had great artists, and they really brought back all of these characters. And you really have to commend DC for it, because they had to basically throw out the baby with the bathwater with the New 52 stuff.
Yeah.
It was not great.
God,
So
I
they had to
started
go back.
Rebirth, but I didn't. I need to get that.
It's good.
You
It's
can-
very
you
good.
can-
And
Just-
all the
just
trades
pick
are
up,
pretty good.
Just pick up the titles that you
I was
think are
reading
most
Superman,
interesting.
Batman, Green Arrow,
Get Aquaman.
I was
Get
reading
Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Good.
She is so
Batgirl.
dang
I was
good.
reading
Yeah,
Batgirl,
I'm
too.
also gonna. The reason I'm gonna say is because they've been able to get that talent that they lost back. Because when they did New 52, they were bleeding talent,
Right.
and everyone else was just
Marvel was
picking it up.
poaching them.
Marvel and Image and
The creator-owned content took
Yeah.
a big. I mean, that's why you
yeah.
have guys like I'm blanking out. Like Brubaker. Brubaker keeps signing deals with Image because he doesn't need to go back to Marvel or DC
Yeah.
because he's set.
Because he can pump out the same stuff over and over again in Image.
Criminal, noir,
Noir. Criminal noir.
criminal noir.
Noir criminal.
Ooh, spicing it up.
I mean,
Yeah.
we can even look at.
But yeah, you have G. Willow Wilson is going to Wonder Woman, which is
Yes.
just
and going
crazy.
and doing the Black Label is
yeah.
gonna
And
be
then
good.
Tom King you have for Batman, and just all these people that made their name at Marvel are now gonna go and take that talent to DC.
Kelly Sue.
Yeah.
And
And
Kelly
that's,
Sue,
I
yeah.
still love Tom King's career change. CIA operative, and now comic book writer.
Well, and that was
Play a comic book writer when he was being a CIA operative.
on. Oh.
Oh, well, I was just gonna be
oh.
like
I was
that kind
gonna-
of.
Oh.
That's kind of also reminds me of the career path of Gerard Way, which was comic book
Right.
artist, musician,
Right.
comic book artist / musician.
Emo music icon, but doing it so he could read comic books.
yeah.
Well, and I was even going to say the thing initially that got me for Tom King was his run, The Vision, his limited over at Marvel. And Marvel's just like, okay, you're dead. And I'm like, you don't know what you just let go into the wild,
Yeah,
children.
yeah. They were like the 49ers. Be like, oh, well, yeah, we'll take Alex Smith. We don't need Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers, who needs him?
Yes.
Crossover will get that reference.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will actually.
Worse.
I'm so
Actually,
glad with that
probably.
3-pointer.
Yeah, exactly.
Score them goals. Kick them balls.
It hurts. It hurts me.
In zones.
It's all in good fun. But, okay, so we got DC.
Jed York.
Yep.
Where'd he go?
We got Image.
Image DC over here.
So I'm with you. There's there
It's
are
hard.
publishers this year that I never even like gave any credence to before. Black Crown. I'm blanking on Alterna.
Black Mask, are you meaning?
Black Mask. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. There's another one that's a crown as well.
Commercial break.
Yeah. James
So-
will be back soon after these commercial messages.
But so there's been so many like independent, like I'm doing even more IDW and stuff. But again, I like Amy's. I had to kind of go with Amy's pattern of what was I reading the most of. And it was definitely Image and Boom Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Because Boom, everything I read from Boom is fun, and some of it's definitely deep and dark, but some of it isn't. It can just be kind of refreshing. We really like a palate cleanser. Well, when there's some really like mentally taxing comics from other publishers, not a bad way. Just they're a workout, and Boom can be that, but it can also be just something fun to just throw myself into and just like burn through 12 issues. I'm like, that was great, and it also had like a message. Like Lumberjanes, if I'm ever in a bad mood, I can read Lumberjanes.
Oh, yeah.
And it always brings me up, but it also, I feel like I learned something. Like, it's great. Boom and Image have just been both phenomenal for me this year. Stevs.
Devil's Due Publishing.
Do they even exist anymore?
No, they don't.
Do they got folded into Dynamite, didn't they?
Dynamite,
Yeah. So Dynamite? No, but you're not reading any of?
Ironheart, she got hers this year, correct? Her
Solo just started.
Just started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. As the one who came into this knowing only DC, I'm choosing Marvel because I've been reading the most of Marvel this year that I have read, and I've enjoyed every story I've read from them. So whether it be one issue, whether it be a whole arc, I'm choosing Marvel because they've done well for me this year that I've read.
Marvelous.
Okay.
Marvel.
Well,
I like Ironheart too.
now we go outside of comic books and
What?
go into now we're done. But now now we go into comic movies.
Oh, my realm.
Or just movies if you have movies too.
Also
but
my
I only did best comic book movie because that's all I really watch at this point. That's all I took the time to go see. And I'm gonna go first because mine's easy. Mine was Avengers. It was
Didn't
great.
see that coming.
I loved it. It was, I love Black Panther obviously. Like I didn't hate Venom, but I loved Avengers. Avengers was phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to Endgame. So for me, best comic book movie, Avengers. Stevs.
Here.
Yes.
Best and honorable mentions. Best Infinity War.
Of course.
I mean, you killed
You
off.
can't.
It was an epic. You killed off heroes. You did it in a very sad and amazing way. The Russo brothers. Honorable mentions: Black Panther and I Kill Giants. I bought that the second it was available on iTunes, and I
So
freaking
because it originally came out like 2017, but then wasn't like released.
in the U.S. in 2018, but yeah, it was made in 2017.
Okay.
But then it slowly went through film festivals, got distribution, got U.S. distribution.
Still
in
haven't
March.
seen it.
Still so good.
So it's
so
very
good.
limited release.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did it.
It's on
So
iTunes
now it's
still.
on-
We
I
have it.
think it's on Hulu.
It's
now.
on
It is on
Hulu.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
My,
Yes.
It is
my
currently
father-in-law,
available on
he we have his Apple ID sign in on our Apple TV, and he got it. But I know how much that book tore me apart.
It captures the
and
moment too.
I'm worried the movie's going to do the same.
Oh,
It will.
Because I like a book, I can, like, okay. But I don't pause movies. I'm just like, no!
my wife didn't read it. I told her it was a comic book movie, and she went into it like she would a Marvel film. Like, okay, comic movie, we're gonna have fun.
Where's Stan Lee?
She right.
Oh, no.
There's Gamora. That's good. She was in tears in that scene.
Yeah.
She was in tears, my wife, and she loved it. So yes, I Kill Giants is on my honorable mentions, but of course, Infinity War was the.
Where's your
the
big
film.
boy?
Huh?
It was your big
The
boy.
big boy, yes.
Mini.
For me, I see what you're saying, 66 with the Infinity War, but I have to go with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It
I'm hearing
was-
greatness.
It was fantastic, and all the sad, like, cool call-outs that Avengers did this year, Spider-Verse did the exact same thing with Spider-Man. It reinvigorated that feeling that you got loving Spider-Man, and Miles was fantastic. And it made me, this is controversial, but I
Ooh,
don't like Spider-Gwen. I really don't.
Okay.
I dislike her, but it made me like her
Interesting.
like a lot, to the
Okay.
point to where I wanted to buy things of her.
What is happening to you?
I know.
Or you got to get the hoodie.
You're gonna get the hoodie.
No.
No, that's my tank top. Back up.
Well, guess what? Because it's right over there for you. You don't want it.
Secret Santa.
Sorry, Secret Santa.
But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse for sure, and honorable mention is definitely Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we reversed it because you stole both of my answers right there.
Oh, no.
That's why I let her go first.
Wait,
I was worried.
wait, we're gonna get it better. She stole all of our answers.
Yeah.
Well, the table is in consensus.
So
I
say
like
we
this
all.
made-for-cable movie that was
So
called.
say we all.
I'm so excited. I can't say
Oh,
because I haven't seen it yet.
it's
I'm
stunning.
so
I mean,
excited
Do you
for
want
it.
to gush first, and then
Looks
I will gush
beautiful.
second?
Oh well, are we?
all right.
Oh, I do have something that isn't Into the Spider-Verse, but it's not technically a comic book movie, but
All
it's
good.
tied into it. So, I am grateful for in the year 2018, after existing for over 30 years as a franchise, there's a finally a good Transformers movie.
I knew that.
It still counts
So-
as a comic book.
Totally
movie.
I
counts.
Got it
saw
right
an
here.
early screening. The embargo is lifted, so it's okay for me to talk about this. But please see this movie. I want
I
Travis
want
Knight. I believe is it Travis Knight?
Yep.
Talked about how the sequel. He's the director. His background's from Studio Laka. He did Coraline animation. His first direction was Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh.
He says that his next movie for the Transformers, he wants to have it all on Cybertron. So please go see this movie.
No, wait, yeah. Is it happening? Because I thought they were saying they were putting the kibosh on Transformers after
so
Bumblebee.
they put the kibosh on this being an extended Hasbro
Yeah.
toy universe
Got it.
/ a prequel.
No
so,
ROM.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
You
they
don't
were,
want the Space Knight?
Aw.
We
but
don't
I
want the
mean,
Space Knight.
I just don't know if they all play well together.
Not at all.
So, but this is definitely like, and you watch it, there's definitely parts that seem like they're trying to make it a prequel, and then halfway through, they're like, no, this is its own thing. Because at the very end, not even the original Transformers, like Michael Bay 2000, whatever, is canon. Because, it's just not. So please,
Good.
Okay.
So,
Get out of here, Michael.
So, yeah. So,
She
just.
is-
Thanks for trying, but get out of here.
Yeah.
But here's the question.
Yes.
That we want to know.
Yes.
How was John Cena?
Not my favorite part of the movie. Like,
Really?
not. Yeah, also, John Cena lied to me personally.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
Wait,
just
no.
leave that as a
Get it
Oh, yeah.
famous by starting Smack
Yeah.
with John Cena.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
tried
yeah.
in 2017.
No, if you want to hear about how John Cena lied to me personally in 2018,
This is how we get him.
yeah, then you have to listen to the Dame Patrol episode that we're gonna do this.
This is how we get John
Yeah.
Cena. This is how we get him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, he was actually really funny in the movie Blockers on HBO. But it's
Yeah,
the
that's,
female
I
American
think it's his
Pie
thing.
kind
Is
of
he
where
needs
they
to
try
be comedic, but this is not
He was
what
the
they
goofy
do.
dad who doesn't believe his daughter would do that.
He doesn't look like a believable human. Like when I see him sitting down, I'm like, you're not a human. You're a giant ham bone from the Looney Tunes in a suit.
Really,
I love him.
Really quick,
love
there's
the
a
hamburger
scene
with the soup.
where he gets thrown out of a car, and the other dad is rolling up the window, and John Cena runs at him. He goes, "You're not Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can't do that." And Cena grabs the window and starts pushing the window down. He's like, "How are you doing that?"
Welcome to our John Cena podcast.
You should just do that. You can't see this podcast. It's audio only. I'm turning off the stream. We're changing things.
Oh, but did you want to gush about Into the Spider-Verse? So we
do.
can, yeah, please let's swing in. To Into the
I will.
And
I
now
will-
to Barry. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
My soul. My soul. Okay, so these guys know, and you ladies already know because
Yeah.
I did, but I kind of went off on them. I literally sent them an audio message after I got
did.
out into our
Vulgar-laced.
Crusader chat. It was. Words are very hard to come by.
It made me quote Cap.
It
Language.
Yes, actually, you should have.
Yeah,
It
gosh.
did. I'm sorry. The soundtrack fits it beautifully. If you love the soundtrack for Black Panther and you haven't seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
Black Panther
you
soundtrack.
will love this. You feel it. It matches perfectly. The story is completely owned and delivered. It sets the bar for anything, another animated comic book movie coming out of almost anybody at this
Well, I feel it's not just animated. It's like there's a lot of things that are said like, oh, it's shot like a comic book. It looks like a comic book.
It's not
the
just
bar
that.
has been raised. If it
So
doesn't look
high.
like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it does not look like a comic book.
If it doesn't move like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse,
Yeah.
it
So-
doesn't feel it.
Shouting out to a vintage K Plus Crusader moment. You're saying Avi Arad got it right this time? He's the producer of the Spider-Man movies that we used to make fun of in our old episodes.
Did he do?
What was the line?
He produced this.
What was our line?
Well, Bendis
It was
also
something
produced
that
this.
We hate. What was the line? We used to say it all the time.
Well, he got it. Well, he got it right.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
one of my favorite, is it called the BAMF, where it's the little blink moments, like it's
Oh, like the sound effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when and I don't know if it's gonna be somebody throws a pastry, and when the pastry hits something, it does the pastry as the little like BAMF, and I really like that when they're escaping.
Nightcrawler teleports.
Ooh.
No, it just hits somebody
Hello.
on the head and it makes the sound like
Got
instead of
it,
like
got it.
a woof or a bang, but it's
But James, say no more.
I can't.
Oh, yes. But
It's
yeah.
content.
It's
Wait,
content.
Dr. Dapper Dan says, speaking words of wisdom. Shh, it's content.
It's content.
I don't want FOP. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
I was about to quote it over
yeah,
the
Dapper Dan be
Dan, man.
Dapper Dan be our producer. But so and then of course my my honorable mention is going to be Black Panther.
Oh yeah.
But it was literally one right on top of the other. It was the Dora Milaje really. Dora Milaje, Shuri, Okoye.
Oh, Koye. Yeah, she's
They set
You know who she is.
Take up the hat and throw it.
they set a bar. I'm glad to see that not the unexpected ones, but the less well known of the comic book world are rising to meet the occasion and knocking the socks off everybody. So, gentlemen, if I keep trying to inundate you and the text group with, "Hey, have you guys seen the movie yet?" Go see the
Winter
movie.
break. Winter
It's
break.
out in
We'll
theaters now.
see.
Go see it.
Winter break. Calm down.
You're older of the younglings.
Next best.
I know
We got
he
two
will.
more.
Okay, let's
I
do
know
it.
he will.
We haven't got. I don't even know. I don't think we're gonna get to our worst.
That's fair.
Well,
Let's
look at it as a
Just a
positive.
positive. Positivity.
Positivity.
Spoiler. I have only two worsts.
I don't have any worst. I didn't come up with
one
any. I'm
worst.
not
I have
good
like
at it.
one worse.
I have
yeah.
one
Yeah.
worse.
Might just-
And it was a
okay,
mediocre.
maybe we will.
Yeah.
It was a
Really
mediocre.
quick. Go worst.
All right. So, did you give a movie? Yeah, you gave me movies. My bad.
Yeah,
I didn't-
comic movies I did, not regular movies.
Oh, did you want both?
That can wait then.
Do we want to?
Or do we want to go?
can
Do we
wait.
want to double whammy it? Or I don't know.
For what?
What are you?
Well,
Movies.
What are you suggesting?
I don't know if we wanted to do because we didn't. We just did comic book movies. We didn't.
Yeah, I
do
have non-
movies.
I said comic books or movie or comic movies or movies.
Yeah, so that was a double thing.
Yeah.
Whoopsie-daisy. Did
So
you- yeah.
let's go to the next category.
Done. Video
Sorry.
games.
I
Okay.
like crazy.
video
Oh, I got this
games.
one.
Best video game.
Locked.
Behold the table of wonder.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give mine real quick because I
Go.
I love watching video games. I'm not good at
I'll go next.
playing video. Well, I'm
we,
good at
we
it.
saw that on the episode where you and I tried to play TMNT.
Oh man, that was Super Nintendo.
Nintendo.
But for me, after 14 years, my love is still true for Yon World of Warcraft. Battle for Azeroth. I love it. I'm having fun. It's a good time killer when the baby's napping. So I'm back into WoW. Yay! So
Leroy
The Oasis.
yeah, get out of here.
I got it. There.
Across the table.
All right.
James, do us proud.
James.
All right,
ladies.
So I am going to say Assassin's Creed Odyssey. for mine, because Cassandra is fantastic. She is the female assassin you can play if you so choose. You can also play as Alexios, but why would you do that?
It's comic related too. They have the comics.
Oh,
Bingo.
yeah.
It's all tied together.
Oh,
And so just really fantastic world. Love the mechanics. I've never stealthed so much. Well, no, I've never stealthed so much and enjoyed the stealthing. Like, it's kind of like a puzzle, but a really fun puzzle. And yeah,
Yep.
it's just great.
Traumatic bleeding.
Yeah. It also definitely gets the Mass Effect crowd, where BioWare is definitely letting a lot of people down.
Yeah.
It's getting back they are.
Yeah.
But it's getting back the crowd
Easily
that
described.
likes to make their own choices and, honestly, romance some really cool characters and have some really cool storylines.
That's my favorite thing.
Ubisoft. Growth.
Ubi.
Yeah.
Ubi.
Ooby.
Yep. And then for mine, I actually chose God of War. 2018 God of War. It's so good. It is a fantastic revisit to Kratos being a next step in his development. Being a father. I am a
Faja.
fantastic dad on
You-
PS4.
You are the best
I am the
daddy-o.
best dad on
The best
Fantastic Four.
bearded daddy.
Best papa.
Yep.
Papa.
Yep. It's so good, and it definitely takes the growth of having anger and what having a child changes within you, and what legacy you want to leave behind.
Fact.
And that's fantastic. I love that.
Exactly. Papa, can you hear
I love that.
me?
Amy, did you have a favorite video game?
Did you?
You guys are gonna laugh.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
So the cornucopia of my house was when Overwatch came out. Played some Overwatch. My main's over there. I'm waiting so patiently for Kingdom Hearts 3. 3, please come out next month. I need you. But hey, so accordingly, since I have a house full of small people, as you can tell by the minion right there, we actually have been playing a lot of Lego. So Harry Potter Lego, I have been hardcore streaming into my veins so we could watch it. And this one goes, there's the snake. Kill it, kill it, kill it. So that's great. But it's a co-op, so I can have all the little people play all the Lego games.
Yeah.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah.
But Horizon Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
There you go, Horizon
There
Zero
you
Dawn. I'm sorry.
Give Aloy her due, man.
Yeah.
It's
Which,
just
although we looked it up, that
gorgeous.
technically came out in 2017, but it was really good. So just if you can pick it up, go for it. Probably cheaper around this time, and
Yeah.
you can get the full game.
so that one's good. So Harry Potter Lego. Hey, do we
Lastly,
TV shows?
comic book TV shows.
Oh.
Or TV shows in general. If you haven't, I don't watch a lot of TV in general. I mean, it's,
Oh, I travel.
Yeah,
I got
you
one that is technically a comic book TV show.
dig it.
Thank
that?
you,
What's
Amy.
the one?
I just had to give you the
The
proper
trill.
due.
It's just half-hour episodes of Chewbacca per person.
Mine is My Hero Academia Season 3.
Counts.
That was amazing. I'm really excited for just how well it was all paced.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
So well
Because
paced.
it's like they have like a licensing arc, and you expect that to take forever, but then they still have like more stuff after that, and just the camp stuff was this season too, right?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
The
so
camp.
yeah.
The camp of chaos was.
Yeah, so
indeed.
basically just so much character development and growth, and some really like we spent all our budget on these 3 seconds of fight scene, but it's like it was totally worth it. Mwah. So yeah,
The glory.
loved it. Can't wait for season 4 and 20 whenever.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Min, you want to go or do you want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay, I got a heap. So, firstly, comic TV. Hilda.
Yeah.
Netflix did do justice to one of the most underrated kids comic books that comes out. It used to have a free comic book every single year. There are very limited words, if there are any, in any of the books. They've been reprinted. There's one sitting currently behind Senor David. And it's lovely, and I can watch it and be fine. It is just the frickiest, cutest thing ever. Also, then I want to do it's technically not a comic book, The Good Place. It's on NBC.
It's the best, so it counts.
it makes me happy. I did
Makes me
the
very
experience at San Diego this year, which was so much flippity flopping fun. And also, you can say, "What the fork
Yeah.
is
Fork?
going on right now?" And this is a lot of bullshit that I'm having to deal with. So swearing is creative in the good place.
That was good.
And then I'm gonna do one more without taking yours because I know what yours is. On Sci-Fi, this has been season 3 going into season 4. It starts up next month again. The Magicians. which I loved because the showrunner is Lev Grossman, who wrote the books. So he wrote the original 3 books. So he followed along, was fairly consistent up until second season. And then he started rotating into this different thing, but it still maintains his essence, his presence. The cast is really good. It's probably not something you want to watch with small gnomes in the house because there's language, among other things. But it's really fun, and I can watch it on repeat. And also we're dealing with magic and gods and people not believing, so you're getting this Harry Potter grown up type of vibe, and the main character is no longer whiny and angry. He's actually growing into a person, and I love seeing people that have good arcs. That's a lot of arms. Minnie, I'm sorry.
Okay, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay.
I ran out of breath.
But mine is actually, it ended pretty early in 2018, but it was a fantastic ending. I have to go with Star Wars Rebels. It was a fantastic series, starting with, honestly, Space Aladdin with Ezra, kind of not really having much of an actual arc, but talking about growth, man. Yeah. Going from just a, street rat, from
I don't
buy that.
I mean, I didn't either. I didn't watch a lot of season 1.
Did they only look closer?
Yeah, it only looks closer. And season 2 they did. And it just accumulates into found family, seeing what actually started a lot of the rebellion, the sparks of the rebellion. What Poe Dameron tried to sell you on, this was actually a spark of the rebellion. And it was fantastic, bringing in Ahsoka Tano, saving Ahsoka Tano, and seeing Ahsoka Tano really become a legacy character is fantastic.
Ashley Eckson and the entire voice cast was amazing in this. And we actually got to see what a human and, Twi'lek child look like.
Yeah.
Aww.
Which is fantastic. Star Wars Rebels, definitely my A+ comic book.
Why am I blanking on who's the voice actor?
Ashley?
No.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him in so long.
Yeah,
I looked at he's with the voice. I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, he does a lot of voice acting.
He does.
Is that what he's doing now?
Yeah, he's in Mass Effect as well.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
He's in the 3rd game as Vega.
Is Vega.
Yeah, it's one of your companions.
Oh.
Yes.
We've already
Space
talked about how he wrote for the WWE.
He wrote for WWE?
From like 2009, 2011, he wrote the screenplay, the stories for WWE. Freddie Prinze
Yes,
Jr.
he did.
So he was part of the creative team.
Yeah.
So
he
creative
was.
had nothing for you. Freddie Prinze Jr. had nothing for you.
Yeah, it was around the time where he actually guest starred as like the host for a night. It was around that time. That's the time he was writing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Freddie Prinze Jr. wrote for
Dig it.
WWE.
There we go.
The
Cool.
more you know.
All right.
What about you?
Yeah,
yes,
go for it.
All right,
I,
I
didn't
got
take yours.
comic and non-comic TV shows.
I tried not to
First,
take
my
yours.
comics.
I appreciate you.
First, my comic TV shows. I have a tie. Daredevil season 3 was fantastic. Had a great ending to it. It tied up the story and also kept it open for future, which won't happen. Nope.
Yeah.
Thanks, Netflix and or Marvel, whoever's fault it was.
Because of contracts.
It
There
keeps
is
changing every week as to whose
Lord.
fault it was. Now they're saying it's Netflix again. Whatever. Daredevil season 3 was outstanding. Also tied with it, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was fantastic. Cool.
Did you Winter Solstice?
Yes, just saw the Winter Solstice episode. Was fantastic as well. Loved every second of it. Wife loved it. Loved the show. Non-comic, I have tie again.
Oh,
Because
shoot.
I can't pick. Anyway, The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Mike
Yeah,
Flanagan brought the horror with a fantastic story. It was
Horror?
horror. Brought the horror with a fantastic emotional story. The episode where the camera doesn't cut.
Oh, yeah.
Where you go 20 minutes with actors having to know all their lines like it's a stage production because the camera doesn't cut.
That makes me uncomfortable.
It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's the whole episode.
The whole episode. It was so good. And tied with it, of course, was on Amazon, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, where John Krasinski once again shows us how he's a
Mr.
bamf.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Mr.
He
Fantastic.
continues to impress me with his awesomeness when it comes to action.
He evolves.
Yes.
He's no longer just staring at
He's
you.
no longer just...
Yeah.
He's no longer just looking at the camera smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are times where he's just a quiet place.
That was actually my non-comic movie. I wanna
Yeah, me
say.
too.
A Quiet Place.
Nice.
Mine was Crazy Rich Asians.
Wait,
There we go.
that's why I said we're going to watch the movie. I told my wife that.
Wait. Because you had a baby.
Why are you touching me?
I don't know.
I
I
didn't
couldn't
see it.
Told you, it's not just like it
For
happens
me,
sexually.
we've talked about this multiple times on the show. The fact that I'm not caught up on Netflix. I'm
It's okay,
so
you
far
have a
behind.
baby.
So I don't know. I can't really count, those. But surprisingly, I actually kept up with until a couple weeks ago because I'm now 2 behind. But I was actually keeping up with Titans, and I've actually really been enjoying it. So for me, I'll give Titans best comic book TV show just because it's the only one I'm actually watching because I don't watch any of the CW because I'm over the CW. The only reason I'm watching Titans really is because I was looking for the Dame.
Yes, you were looking
Yeah,
for
you were
us.
for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
we're
looking for the Doom Patrol, and then I was
Yeah.
hoping. I know they're not going to mention anything about Swamp Thing, but I'm very much looking forward to it.
It'd be funny if last episode of Titans. Hey guys, Swamp Thing's right in the corner. Just waving. Hey, how are you?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. So Titans doing pretty good. Not perfect, obviously. It's got some weird issues. But again, I mean, I'm not watching a lot of comic book TV shows, so it's kind of like
This is what I got.
that's
This is
what
it.
I got. Yeah. Oh, no, that's woke back up. So yeah. Do we want to do any worse?
Could we do if
Do
there's
you have
one?
like one that's like aching?
Yeah, there's actually one that's aching.
Go for
for
it.
me.
Just all go around, do a one.
Do one worse.
I'm gonna do my worst movie of this year, and it's not even a movie I saw, but I feel that but no. Here's the thing. I feel that what it did qualifies it as the worst movie of 2018, and I'm gonna choose Solo, a Star Wars adventure, because it killed off the possibility of a Boba Fett spinoff and also a young Ian McGregor reprising his role as
Killed all of our
Obi-Wan.
dreams.
So, you know,
And jobs.
What was I going
And
to do?
Jobs,
What about a
so-
Mace Windu?
or even an Ahsoka movie. Like, it
Yeah,
killed
that would have been great.
everything.
Yeah.
So I feel the fact that it was so okay
Yeah.
that it destroyed all these other possibilities that were way more exciting makes it the worst.
Disney couldn't get their
It was a hive of villainy and scum.
they
Yeah.
couldn't get their stuff together and make the production
It's
happen.
hard to hurt all that many banthas.
Exactly. they're
Bantha
they're all
voodoo.
scruffy nerf herders.
I like scruffy nerfers.
So, yeah. What do you want to go left,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Do you want to go? I can. So mediocre at best, since I only have one on this beast, is going to actually be the comic book movie that miffed me into sleepiness. That would be Venom. It is out of place. It was still behind, and I love me some bromance and some buddy comedies.
It was great in 2003.
Yeah.
It's just.
If Avi Arad had done it in
But
2003,
we also had the question. Well, we had the talk about that. Even if we had put it in the 90s and it was next to Blade still would have kicked it in the butt.
yeah.
no, Blade's great.
Blade's
Yeah,
fantastic film.
but that's what we're talking about. It's out of place. Him as it just didn't do Venom justice. And yeah, I love me a buddy pick. Love me a buddy comedy. I'm all about road movies, but this is none of those things. And to see this come out of Sony's house, and so recently, the beauty that is Spider-Man that came out of that house.
Yeah.
They're in completely different directions, in different sections, and fie on you that I'm literally sitting in the same dang house. I will bite my thumb at you, sir. Yes, I will. This is terrible that Sony's like, look at this Venom, this is great. And I'm like, no, look at this man of spiders. Look at the verse of spiders.
He's just throwing spiders.
If I may, this
I'm
is
gonna
the
throw spiders at it.
same Sony that brought us the Emoji Movie last year. So they're
An unsung classic.
they're uneven at best.
Amy, get ready because it's gonna be a Venom sequel. All right.
Coming your way.
God.
No.
Actually, I think it is.
And what's,
There is gonna be a Venom sequel.
My worst.
absolute worst.
My absolute worst. I had a movie, but I'm actually gonna go with a video game, because this definitely spat in the faces of a lot of people who gave this franchise a chance.
Don't you say Tecmo Bowl?
No,
Swear,
no,
if you
it's
say
okay.
Tecmo Bowl.
That bowl is safe.
Yeah, don't
The
touch
chips
that.
are
They-
okay.
They made a comic from it.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, my video game that was the worst of 2018 was Far Cry 5.
Oh.
So Far Cry 5, it brought a lot of people in because it gave you the option to actually, one, be a female character or a male character, so you got to choose your narrative, which is always a fantastic way to get a lot of gamers in. It made it more first person, so you can actually feel immersed in the story, and you were taking on a cult in like the middle of the country. So it was pretty cool. It was very topical with a lot of stuff happening. But by the end of it, they give you an old switcheroo, whereas you take down the cult leader. If you choose to do it, the good ending
choosing to take down the cult leader, the game punishes you by doing it by having nukes dropped on you. It literally, an apocalypse happens, the nukes fall, you get dragged out of your vehicle into this bunker with this cult leader, and he was right. Now he's going to save you. You're going to be in a bunker with him for the next 30 years.
It's a prequel to Fallout 76.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. So now the Activision has actually announced that they are doing Fallout 5 New Dawn, where it's basically 30 years after that first Fallout 5, where everyone's raiders and they're apocalypsing everywhere, and it's ridiculous. And now they're making people of color villains again, because it's two twin sisters that are the main antagonists. Right. And they're trying to resell you DLC for $50 as a new game.
Solid.
Was this the game that the promotion was like the Thanksgiving table?
Yeah.
Yes.
The cult leader. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yep, and it was a solid entry, but it's at least a 60-hour game to have that ending.
Have that pulled on you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
No, thank you.
So no, I'm good.
So you don't win.
No one wins.
That's.
Yeah.
Do you have
There's
worse?
no good ending.
It's okay if you don't.
I mean, I have weaker. I wouldn't say worse.
I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Iron Fist was better than the first season, but it was still Iron Fist.
We're being positive. That's fine. Yeah.
That's kind of what I got. I don't really have any other than that.
Manderson agreed. It's Venom. And then...
Wow, surprised no one said the obvious for season 2s of Netflix.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Gone too soon. Now everyone's just...
Well,
yeah, she's not
Jessica's
canceled
still
yet.
there.
Yeah.
She's in danger.
We'll see.
But Jessica
danger.
Jones too was woof.
I'm halfway through Punisher, and I still haven't gone further. And Manderson also said, because he didn't actually see Venom, he just thought it was awful. But out of what he saw, he actually thought Deadpool 2 was the worst.
Whoa.
But I mean, if you think about it, if it's one of those things where if you saw 5 movies and they're like, pick the worst,
Oh, yeah.
well,
Yeah.
you put it as 5th. So I don't know if he actually thought it was bad.
5th best.
Or if it was just, fifth best. So most worst.
I don't like that TV show choice.
I don't have any worse because...
You're positive.
I'm so positive.
Yeah.
I just can't think of anything.
Radical, man.
Yeah, it took my
Radical.
brain so much to find good. no, to sift through all the good.
It just had to stay with the good to know that it was something to hold on to, because literally
Only
in this year,
Everything else.
everything else that we've seen, we cling to the good in these times of
Yeah.
absolute insanity.
In my entire Crusader career, there was only one comic that angered me, and it was like on our first year, and the art was like made of ash. It was like ash artwork. Like it just looked.
Do you remember what it was?
horrible. I don't remember what it's called. It was that bad. I never read it again. I read 2 pages and I was done.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's not even. It's not.
We'll have to find it. We'll have to track it out. It's probably great.
Go back to the old. It's amazing now. They changed the art.
We'll see what it is. So that is about going to wrap it up for
Oh, better wrap it up, bro.
about the best worst 2018 last episode of the Capeless Crusaders of the year.
Been good times.
Been great times. So thanks for hanging out. Don't forget, we're now a network, which means we're going to have more content through the end of the year, and then we're going to come back bigger and better in 2019. We're still going to have a crossover, a Sunday coffee, a Dame Patrol. Before we wrap up, Daryl's here. We'll come back as TCC Network in the new... Hey, man.
It smells nice.
So...
It smells like sweat.
My name is, of course, David Barry at Dr. Barry on varying social media platforms. I am joined across the figurative pond by...
I am Herminia Salcedo, but you guys can call me Minnie. I am part of the Dame Patrol, and you guys can find me on the Instaswam as Dame Egg Sauce. That's Dame EG Sauce.
And I'm Stephanie, and you can find me on Instagram at Dame of the Galaxy. And over here.
Please ignore the angry looks I've been giving off camera, and considering that my brothers in arms across the literal pond gotten so excited about this season. This is Amy. You can find me at IJNewRobot on varying social media, pending my short demise and combustion. That's
Yay!
guys.
Rick, there's walkers everywhere.
I know you can't. You know you can't. That's a very directional mic. It can't. There you go.
Rick.
That made it better.
Forget it.
Steve Zorian, one Anthony Steves. Wow, 2018 went by forever.
Weird.
Forever and yet not long enough.
Not exactly. Not joining us this evening, of course, Manderson, the son of Mander. He's slapping the bass tonight.
Slapping the bits.
So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. If you were on Twitch tonight, drop us a follow. Give us a sub if you like us. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're in the podcast app, like, comment, give us 5 stars. Do all those things. We love you. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out in 2018. We look forward to hanging out with you some more next year.
I know it's on New Year's Day, but we won't have New Year's show, so I'm just singing the song.
Fair enough. Fair enough. However you celebrate the holidays, thanks for hanging out with us for part of it. For the Capeless Crusaders, the Dame Patrol, Sunday Coffee, Crossover,
Future plans.
Future Plans.
Daryl Dixon.
Daryl Dixon everywhere.
Good night.